Good morning to all of you. In our last class we have been discussed about Fraunhofer diffraction by single slit. Today we are going to discuss about Fraunhofer diffraction by double slit. Let's start. So this is the experimental arrangement of Fraunhofer diffraction by double slit. Here two slits has been considered to getting the diffraction pattern on this screen. Here two slits are AB and CD. Here BC is the opaque region which will be decide the distance between the two slits. The distance between the two slits or separating the two slits. This is the BC is the opaque region. So when the light is coming from this side and falls over this, some of ray diffracted through AB slit and some of ray diffracted through CD slit. So here one thing we can observe that this experimental arrangement looks like the Young's double slit experiment. May you have been remembered that when we have been discussed the Young's double slit experiment, at that time we have been considered two narrow slits S1 and S2 which will be produce the interference pattern on the screen. The so-called interference pattern is this one. The two very narrow slit are going to be considered, and here the distance or the opaque distance is very large as compared with the width of the slit. In case of Young's double slit, the slit width is very small as compared with the opaque distance or the distance which is separating slit 1 and slit 2. But in case of diffraction, the slit width, whatever we have been taken as A, this is the slit width. One slit is AB, another slit is CD. The slit width may be equal to B or more or less B. So we can say the slit width is equivalent to the opaque width BC. Okay. So here we can see that this is the condition for Young's double slit experiment, where we can get the two slits and their width is very small as compared with their separating distance. So here the separating distance is this one. This one is the separating distance, but slit width is very small as compared with this distance. So this is for Young's double slit experiment. But in case of diffraction here you can see if this is the diffraction by double slit, the two slit width is approximately equal to separating distance. So if this is the opaque distance and this is the slit width and opaque distance approximately same, or it can be vary accordingly, but more or less it will vary. More or less it can be vary as compared with the width of the slit. So here we can observe one thing, that the arrangement of the experimental setup looks like two slits separated by a distance, or it gives a one type of perceiveness or understanding that it will be one type of arrangement, approximate arrangement of the Young's double slit. And also as the two slit of larger width we have, we can expect at each width the diffraction of the light. So here in this arrangement we can get the diffraction through the slit and the interference of the light which is propagating through this slit and this slit. Okay, so in Fraunhofer diffraction by double slit we can get diffraction pattern as well as interference pattern that we are going to be discussed in detail. So in short, whatever we have been discussed about the arrangement of this experimental setup, somewhat it is written here, that is, let a monochromatic light of wavelength lambda incident on the Fraunhofer diffraction slide double slit AB and CD from the left. So as shown in the figure, you have to write as shown in figure. Here a small a is taken as width of the slit. This is the width of the slit, AB is the width of the slit, and CD also width of the slit, and B is the width of the opaque region. So this is the opaque region. So this is the opaque region. If we are going to consider, these are the two slits. So this distance is called as the A, which is the width of the slit. This is the opaque region. This is called as B. Okay, this is called as B. So now BC, or the opaque region, distance or width is B. Now the distance between the middle position of two corresponding slits will be A plus B. That means if we are going to consider the middle position of the two slit, this is the two slits, this is the one slit and its middle position is this one, and this for AB slit middle position is this one. So from this point to this point, B point, from this middle point to B point will be value of A by 2, because AB is A. So from this middle to this point will be how much? A by 2, and this distance, this width is B. Likewise from C to middle will be A by 2. So from the middle of, or the distance between the middle point of the two slits, means from here to here, distance will be A by 2 plus B by 2. That means A plus B. That the same thing it has been written, that the distance between the middle position of the two corresponding slits is A plus B. Let a perpendicular AN is drawn as shown in the figure. As shown in the figure. As shown in the figure, up to from A to N, this perpendicular is drawn on CC dash. Okay, on CC dash we have drawn a perpendicular AN. Now from the triangle ACN, CN will be AC sin theta. Have to cross check that. Consider ACN. If this is theta, then this angle will be also theta. Okay, so hence sin theta will be equal to how much? Sin theta will be equal to how much? That will be CN by AC. For this triangle ACN, sin theta will be CN is the height and the diagonal divided by diagonal AC. CN by AC. That implies Cn equal to AC sin theta, whatever we have written here. Here AC A to C distance. A to C distance will be how much? A to B is A, B to C is B. So A to C will be A plus B. So instead of AC, I can write A plus B sin theta. Okay. To determine the Q point is maxima or minima. Now, if we have to consider the ray diagram, we can found at A point diffraction will be happens with an angle theta. At B point diffraction and with a angle theta also will be happens, because we know that the so-called diffraction is nothing but bending of light at the edge of the slit. So AB is the slit, means at A and B we can get the bending of light. So the normal incident of the light is this one. Some of the ray will be passed through as they are incidents on this slit, means from at point A these are the normal incident will be go like this, from P it will go like this, but some of the ray at A and B will be diffracted through an angle theta, will be moved along A to A dash to Q, then B to B dash to Q, B to B dash, you have right here, B to B dash to Q. Likewise, through this slit CD, some of the ray will be moved their original path. Some of the rays will be diffracted from the C along C to C dash to Q, and some of the ray will be diffracted from D to D dash to Q, D to D dash to Q. So in this way we can found the superposition of the rays which are reaches at the point Q. So this point Q may be bright, may be dark. Okay, so how we are going to be calculate, that we are going to be discuss. Only same thing it is written that to determine the Q point is maxima or minima, the path difference between minima, here it is comma, and the sentence is continuing, here not full stop, comma should have to be. The path difference between A dash Q and C dash Q is required. So as we have to consider, see, from A dash Q and C dash Q, if we can found the path difference between the two rays, see A dash Q, C dash Q, then we can define the Q will be bright or will be dark. So the path travelled by the ray A dash Q is this one. From C it will C dash Q. Okay, the extra path, the ray C dash Q is travelled as Cn. If we are going to draw a perpendicular on this C dash Q, we found this C dash is the extra path travelled by the ray C dash Q as compared with the ray A dash Q. So the path difference between so the Q point will be maxima or minima can be determined if we can determine the path difference between A dash Q and C dash Q. So only for that it is in this language it is written to determine the Q point is maxima or minima, the path difference between this and this is required. So the path difference between these two rays is Cn. What the Cn we got here? that is a plus b sin theta. Let this equation number is 1. Then the corresponding phase difference between the two rays will be, we know that 2 pi by lambda into path difference. This is the path difference. 2 pi by lambda into path difference will be called as the phase difference, will be equal to 2 pi. This is 2 pi by lambda into a plus b sin theta into a plus b sin theta will be equal to 2b. 2b. Let's say this total will be 2b. Okay, sorry, 2b, not 2 beta. 2 beta. Let this is equation number 1a. 1a. From the theory of single slit experiment, you just go back to your note, in your note of the single slit diffraction. For the single slit diffraction, we found the resultant amplitude at Q will be R equal to, here R is capital R, you have to write, okay, capital R you have to write here, R equal to A sin alpha by alpha, A sin alpha by alpha, where alpha is nothing but pi sin theta A by alpha. You move back, if we are going to consider this one, here we can found that the resultant amplitude, how much we have been got, this one. This is for single slit experiment, with resultant amplitude we found that R equal to A into sin alpha by alpha, and alpha is nothing but, we got that pi d sin theta by lambda. Alpha is nothing but pi d sin theta by lambda. These two terms we have been directly written here, not to be discussed once again, because these things already discussed in our single slit experiment diffraction. So pi sin theta A by lambda, here alpha you can see pi sin theta d by lambda. Okay, so here d was taken as the width of the slit, so here the instead of d we have written A, because here A is the width of the slit. Then come to the next page. In the next page it is written, here we have considered two slits. Okay, in our single slit the slit was only one, but here slit are two. Okay, so each slit will have the resultant amplitude, each slit will be act as a single slit. So if we are going to consider this portion, this will be a single slit diffraction, this will be a single slit diffraction. So here each have equal amplitude of, so each slit, so here each slit have equal amplitude, each slit have equal amplitude of A sin alpha, but with the direction of an angle theta. So in our single slit experiment we found the resultant amplitude was for single slit, this one. Now this is the amplitude or the resultant amplitude due to the single slit experiment. But if we are going to consider the double slit, it is nothing but combination of single slit, two single slit, this one one single slit, this one one single slit. So for one single slit we can consider the resultant amplitude is this much, A sin alpha by alpha, and another slit also A sin alpha by alpha. So these two slit propagating the ray of the amplitude A sin alpha by alpha, which are going to be interfere or interference with one another and will be produce the fringes at Q. So now this concept we are going to be use here, that as each slit have equal amplitude this, but with the direction with an angle theta. So now this slit have the amplitude a sin alpha by alpha. This slit propagating the ray having the amplitude a sin alpha by alpha, but both have angle is theta. Therefore, the two rays A dash Q and C dash Q will be interfere by considering their path difference. Here the phase difference is phi. Considering the path difference, considering the path difference, or here you have to write or a corresponding phase difference, same thing. Okay, so only path difference is converted to phase difference. So here the phase difference between the two rays are phi. Already we have been found previously. So now the resultant amplitude at Q due to this ray and this ray, when they are going to interfere with each other at the point Q, then what will be the resultant amplitude will be C. For the ray A dash Q and C dash Q, for this one amplitude is A sin alpha by alpha. For this one also A sin alpha by alpha. Okay, so this is the vector representation of one ray, that is A dash Q. This is the another vector representation of C dash Q. Both have the phase difference is phi. If they are going to be add with each other or interfere, physically we can say that it is interfere, or mathematically we are going to say that if these two vectors are going to be add vectorially, this will be the resultant amplitude. Let that resultant amplitude is R dash. This you have to change as R dash. Okay, R dash. So how much it will be? The resultant will be R dash. Okay, R dash square will be this square plus this square plus 2 this amplitude into cos phi. This is the so called addition through triangle law. Okay, now R dash square will be this plus this will be 2a square sin square alpha by alpha square into plus 2 into a square sin square alpha by alpha square into cos phi. Okay, now if we have to take common this one 2a square sin square alpha by alpha square, then in bracket we can found 1 plus cos phi. We know that 1 plus cos phi is nothing but 2 cos square phi by 2. So here 2 into 2, 4 square phi by 2. That implies these are all are R dash have to be correct, because initially I have written or it was written that R square, it is corrected as R dash. Why? Because initially this one it is written as small r, and here I have been corrected, it is capital R. So here one capital R, again here one capital R, it will be confused. So only for that, if it is capital R, here I change that it is R dash. Okay, capital R dash. So now we found that R dash square is equal to 4 into a square sin square alpha by alpha square into cos square phi by 2. That implies will be 4a square sin square alpha by alpha square into cos square beta. Here beta we have been taken as phi by 2. So this is what? This is nothing but called the amplitude square of the resultant of the two rays what are going to be interfere with each other at the point Q. So here we have been consider two things. Here we have been consider the amplitude, this one, which is the amplitude due to the diffraction. So that diffraction amplitude is going to be interfere with each other. This first diffraction, due to diffraction two rays, they are going to be interfere at Q. when they are going to be interfere at Q, we found the resultant amplitude square is this one. But we know that the resultant intensity at Q is proportional to the square of the resultant amplitude. That is also R dash. So here that implies I will be proportional to R dash square. So I equal to K, some constant R dash square. So I equal to 4 this much, 4 A square sin square alpha by alpha square into cos square beta. Let here considered as K is equal to 1. So if K equal to 1 here, then I equal to this one. Let this equation number is 2. So you concentrate over this expression. What we found here? We found that intensity at the point where? At the point Q. At the point Q. At the point Q is this one, or the resultant intensity at the point Q, which is depends upon the two factors. One is A square sin square alpha by alpha square, another is cos square beta. Okay, one is, again I repeat, one is A square sin square alpha by alpha square, another is cos square beta. So this A square sin square alpha by alpha square gives the diffraction pattern of the each slit. How? Because if we are going to consider the single slit experiment and its corresponding intensity, what will the intensity? Intensity is A square sin square alpha. This is for single slit. Okay. So here single slit experiments, whatever we found the intensity, that expression also present along with a multiplication of another term cos square beta. So here cos square beta also plays the role to give the interference pattern or to produce the interference pattern along the diffraction pattern. This is nothing but gives the diffraction pattern only, A square sin square alpha by alpha square. Okay. And another thing we are going to be compare one thing. See, in case of single slit experiment, we found A square sin square by alpha square, right? Here we found 4A square sin square alpha by alpha square. So we can also here one thing can be concluded that at the point for the single slit experiment, what will be the intensity? In case of a double slit experiment, at that point it will be 4 times intensity will be increased. Okay, so this is the expression which is giving the idea about the diffraction of the rays. Now what is this one? This one is nothing but so called interference of this two beam which is passed through the two slits. Okay, so this cos square beta gives the interference pattern due to the light waves of same amplitude. Same amplitude means what? That is A sin alpha by alpha. This is the same amplitude due to the diffraction. Due to the diffraction, from one slit this much amplitude is going to be diffracted, and another slit also same amplitude light is diffracted. So due to the diffraction of the two waves of the same amplitude, we are going to found interference pattern, and the variation of the interference pattern will be tell by this term. So in this term, both the things we have. One is diffraction term, diffraction pattern. This term will be give the diffraction pattern. This term will be give the interference pattern. So may you have been remembered that we have been also calculated in Young's double slit experiment that when the two rays are going to be interfere in your mathematical calculation, we found the resultant amplitude square is equal to this much and cos phi. Okay, we found also cos phi, which is indicates that this is helps to determine the interference pattern. with the phase difference. Likewise, here also we found approximately same, that is cos square phi by 2, which is later it is considered as cos square beta. So here two things we have to be considered to find out the interference pattern of double slit experiment. So first we have to consider intensity distribution due to diffraction, or it can be written as fringe pattern or diffraction pattern due to a square sin square alpha by a square. So previously in our single slit experiment, diffraction experiment, we have been found that the secondary minima are to be obtained for alpha is equal to plus or minus L lambda. Go to the back for the for your single slit experiment, that is secondary minima is nothing but the condition should have to be alpha is equal to plus or minus N lambda. Here alpha is pi d sin theta by lambda. Here d is the slit width, but in case of double slit we have been taken as A. So here we can say that alpha is nothing but A sin theta pi, that is here we can write alpha as pi d pi A sin theta by lambda, pi A sin theta by lambda, as we can consider the alpha. Here also we have written these things. Okay, pi sin theta A by lambda, same thing we are going to be right here. Then we can found A sin theta equal to plus or minus N lambda. Let this equation number is 2A. The secondary maxima are observed. The secondary maxima in case of this is single slit pi. For the single slit, what we found for the secondary maxima, when alpha is equal to plus or minus 3 pi by 2, here I am going to show you the pattern, that secondary maxima we found where this is the principal maxima. Secondary maximas we found at 3 pi by 2, then 5 pi by 2, like this. And also in general also here we have been written that this is 0 for principal maxima, plus or minus 3 pi by 2, plus or minus 5 pi by 2. Same thing I am writing there. So no need to again to be calculated these things, because we have already discussed. So this will be plus or minus 3 pi by 2, plus or minus 5 pi by 2, like this. This is the secondary maxima condition in case of single slit experiment. So in general this is can be written as plus or minus 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Let this is equation number 2. So due to this expression, that is a square sin square alpha by alpha square, the intensity distribution is this one. That these things already we have been studied in case of single slit experiment. So here carefully you have to write. Somewhere it is written wrongly, so you have to write this is 0, this point is pi, this maximum point 3 pi by 2, this is 2 pi, this is 5 pi by 2, or you can say like this is pi by 2, 2 pi by 2 means pi, 3 pi by 2, 4 pi by 2 means 2 pi, this is 2 pi, then 5 pi by 2, then 6 pi by 2 means 3 pi, then 7 pi by 2, this maxima, this is somewhat shifted, but this is this one 7 pi by 2, then this one is 8 pi by 2, that is 4 pi. Likewise you have to write left side. Now we have to consider the another term which creates the interference. That term is cos square beta. Now we have to draw the intensity distribution by considering x-axis beta and y-axis cos square beta. So here cos square beta will be 1 for the bright fringe and cos square beta will be 0 for the dark fringe. wherever the cos square beta will be 1, whenever beta is equal to plus or minus m pi, here m equal to m or n. So this is beta equal to m, it is written as m, so here also m should be correct. Okay, and similarly for the dark beta should have to be plus or minus 2m plus 1 pi by 2, 2m plus 1 pi by 2. So if I am going to be consider the fringe pattern or interference pattern, then at 0 m equal to 0 means it will be so called bright and it will be maxima. At pi by 2, if here also m equal to considered as 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. So if we are going to consider 0, which is first minima, we are going to get at plus or minus pi by 2. So plus pi by 2 minus pi by 2, we are going to get the minima. Then second bright, if we are going to put 1, then it will be plus or minus pi. So this is plus pi minus pi, we are going to get the maxima, and the intensity value will be cos square beta. This is the value of cos square beta. So like that, at pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, we are going to get the maxima, and at pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, this is 5 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, we are going to get the minima if we are going to consider the interference condition, that is cos square beta. So here this is the pattern due to the diffraction what we observed, and this is due to pattern due to interference what we observed. But in case of double slit, as in the equation, in the intensity equation, both the terms are multiplied with each other, so the resultant intensity distribution neither will be this one nor will be this one. Then what? Then the resultant distribution will be the combination of the both. So when we are going to be combine these two, the diffraction pattern and the interference pattern, then we are going to get the double slit experiments intensity distribution. So it will be looks like this one, like this, means this is the diffraction envelope, one diffraction envelope. In this one diffraction envelope we can get several interference pattern. One diffraction envelope we can get several diffraction pattern. The in detail we are going to discuss in our next class. Today we have to be stopped here, that finally after the diffraction by the double slit we got the intensity distribution is this one, the mathematical expression. One is due to the diffraction, another is due to the interference, and due to the diffraction the pattern is this one, due to the interference this pattern will be this one. The resultant will be the composite of this one or mixing of this one. The what will be the resultant intensity distribution, that we are going to discuss in our next class. Up to this, you watch this video carefully, and somewhere small corrections also I have been done. You have to do it in your note and be ready for the next. Okay, thank you so much.